Today I'm going to be doing a makeshift workout based on just a couple ideas I have of what I'm trying to accomplish for my physical preparation of Bhima. So this is day 3 of my workout, of my week workout. And I wanted to talk a little bit more about strength training, why I do it, why I think it's important, why I think everybody should do it, man or woman, I don't care, at any age, you should be doing strength training. There's too much evidence coming out, and has been out for a long time, about the benefits to your overall health, your life, your interaction in the world, but also, and most importantly, to your longevity and your health and staying healthy as long as possible. And in having a good life. Now, I think running and cardio are things I clearly am not obsessed with as I am with weightlifting, but those are also really important. Cardiovascular health is super important, and there's lots of people advocating for that, and I think that's great. And I want to advocate for strength training in a more fun way. I have I should point this out, this is probably fading away, but this is a shirt I used to wear to the gym all the time, because I would go to like Gold's Gym or Anytime Fitness or 24-Hour Fitness or all these gyms all over America. And one thing I noticed as I was into this gym bro culture was this obsession that so many guys have of working out really hard the upper body, and then the lower body is like a chicken leg, right? So it's like, there are these memes, friends don't let friends skip leg day. And now I would go to the gym, I didn't talk to anybody at the gym almost ever. For 12 years I go to the gym every single day. But I would sometimes kind of troll guys because I would wear shirts like this, especially on my leg day, because I would see guys there a lot. Like there's this one guy I remember, super nice guy, and I spotted for him several times, really nice guy, nothing against him. He was clearly on steroids, but he would be seated overhead press, 315 pounds, right, multiple times. It's like, that's crazy. But I would see him there every day, 4, 5, 6 days a week. Not once in the, I think, year and a half, 2 years I was going to that gym, not a single time did I ever see him do any leg things, ever. And it was funny because he would sometimes approach me and talk to me about, I was doing bench, or I was doing those exercises myself, and then he wasn't, would never talk to me when I was doing deadlifts, leg day, and things like that, which I used to do at least twice a week. So, for what it's worth, go do leg day. It is harder, but it's important. So I'm doing this video because of the character in mythology Bhima, which I have gotten the role of through Austin Shakespeare. And Austin Shakespeare is a company here in Austin, and they are putting on the Mahabharata tales, very truncated version. This is the longest poem in the history of the world, I think. And I was cast as Bhima, who's the world's strongest man. He's like Hercules. So one thing is, being a strong person, I think at the end of the day, the core of that, what that means is the ability to pick up something off the ground. So there's a moment when I might have to pick something up off the ground in the, I won't spoil anything. It's a possibility this is going to happen in the show. And so having that ability to pick something up off the ground is really important. I think it's, I want to get into this a little bit more as we go in, I think, but I think it's really important for anybody to be able to get these kinds of things for your bone structure, your bone density. When you lift heavy, by the way, if you didn't know this, it doesn't just grow muscles. It grows the tendons, and it strengthens the tendons, and it grows bone density. Like your bones are dynamic, and inside your bones get stronger. As you get older, you get weaker bones. Your bones are more brittle and more easy to break, which is one reason, especially as you get older, you have to start lifting weights if you want that longevity, if you don't want to have, less risk of breaks. So I'm going to do a warm up. The bar is 80. So I think so the bar is about 80 pounds. This particular hex bar, this is called, and I'll talk about that in a minute. So I think this is like 180, 190 pounds. This is going to be my warm up. I always warm up, and we're going to get a little bit heavy. I don't know how heavy I'm going to get to today. I'm not trying to break records or anything. Just trying to get a general workout. So I'll tell you in a second. So this is what I have my setup. Okay, so that's warm up. We'll talk a little bit more for the next set. Okay, so I have this platform this little makeshift bunch of bricks I had in my house. I think it allows me to get a little bit more stretch because I'm higher up, so I have to go down farther. Because one issue I have with this is how high the bars are. So like when you're coming down, you're not getting as long of a stretch. I don't know if that's the best, but I like to try to maximize, the distance that I'm getting from the ground as I go up. Barbells are really good for that. If you do a barbell deadlift, that's really optimal for that. I got into this, it's one of those things that's really, part of the issue of like trying to figure out the best regimes for you. There's just a lot of benefits to it. Barbells have a lot of benefits. I think that every human should do deadlifts, squats, a little bit of bench, depending on who you are, and overhead press. Just those kind of and back reps. So those 5 exercises, once or twice a week, even once a week. If you just did those exercises once a week, really trying to push yourself a little bit, that I think will have such profound long-term benefits. You could keep doing your cardio, keep doing whatever you want, but that I think is really important for building your strength and building up your bones and your sinews and your tendons, everything. But so I got into this because I did barbell deadlifts a lot, and I liked them. I just always thought as I was getting heavier and heavier with the barbells, that if I messed up the form, I could really hurt myself. And I heard from a professional strongman, his name is Robert Oberst. He's the one who actually got me interested in strongman. Not that I met him, but I was interested from interviews of his. And he said something about if you're not trying to get like a competition for barbell, the barbell really has a lot of disadvantages that you might as well just use a hex bar because it does a lot of the same thing. And I think there's some truth to that. Although I have noticed that I think the barbell, there's just something magical about the size, where it is on the ground. And again, you're trying to just get that full strength, because when you do an exercise like this or the barbell, you're really using your whole body. And that's what today is all about. It's what's actually like a legs focus and core, like overall. Deadlifts are really good for what you might think of as your posterior chain. So it's really going to hit the back of your legs, it's going to hit your glutes, lower back, even up to your traps a little bit, and your forearms, because you got to grip hard. So like if you want to grow forearms, do deadlifts. When I was doing heavy deadlifts a lot, my forearms were big. Like my forearms are much smaller now than they used to be. They were like really big. So deadlifts are great for that. So today I think I'm only going to get to like 3 plates. I think this is, what is this, 260, 270, something like that. So a total of 4 45s and then an 80-pound bar. So I'll go up again, maybe I'll go up twice. But I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna do squats. Again, this is preparing for the world's strongest man and the potential of, lifting somebody off the ground or something. Okay, so I think next time I'll probably go higher weight, of course, but I'm gonna do much less reps, I think. Okay, so now I have it up to, what is this, 350, 360? I think it's 350. So I think I'm gonna probably stay here, but maybe I'll do a little bit more. I'm trying to do, I'll definitely do less reps. I think last time I did like 10 reps at the 270. So this one I'm gonna do probably much less. We'll see how I feel. Like I'm gonna go until I'm feeling, the point isn't, this I'm thinking more as like in the strength range. So I'm trying to be in the more 3 to 6, somewhere in there. So if I do 3, I'm happy, right? If I do 2, I'm not happy. And that happens for a variety of reasons. I don't train this as much as I used to. I used to train it, like that was actually the first exercise I did of the week when I would start a week off. When I was doing strength training was on Monday, coming to the gym, first thing I did was this, or a generic deadlift, and my max was over 650 pounds. It's my PR that I So now that was like 1 rep that's like all strapped in and stuff. So for whatever that's worth. This, like I said, I'm going more for several reps. We'll see. Maybe I'll feel like trying 1 heavier rep just to see what I can do. I'm not going to go push it too hard. That's not the point. One thing about strength training too, when you're talking about like, so someone was asking me in a rehearsal, Kirk, how much can you pick up the ground? Picking up like this, where it's structured around really maximizing your muscles and building muscle and building strength, is very different than like picking a person up, like picking dead weight up. So could I pick up a 350-pound person like this? Probably not. But the reason you want to do it, you want to get higher and higher, as high as you can, is if you could do 300, 400 pounds of this, you have a much better chance and ability, especially if you do it a lot, a much better ability to pick up like a 200-pound person or a 150-pound person pretty easily. And then, like if you think of, if it's an emergency and you're trying to do like a fireman's escape or something like that, you're trying to get under their arms and not lift the whole person up like this, but just hoist them enough and then get out of there. This helps you do stuff like that. And it, helps you if you need to put someone on your back, or for fun, if you need to put someone on your shoulder or carry someone. There's always that too. Okay, here we go. And you know what I mean by fun. Be safe out there, kids. Okay, that felt good. I'm gonna add 50 pounds total and see what that feels like. Okay, so here we got, I think it's about 400 or a little over 400 pounds. I'm gonna see if I can do this like twice. Again, I'm trying to be safe. I haven't done heavy weights on this for quite a while. If it feels really good, I'll go up again because I want to see what I could do. But I think this will probably be where I'm at, hopefully. We'll see, it's been a while. I am using some chalk. This is just liquid chalk. Normally, so my recommendation with chalk, same thing with like weight belts, which I'll probably use a little bit later, is don't use them until the end, or until like you're really stretching yourself. Because you want to build the grip, so you want to have the struggle to hold the grip, and this helps you with grip, so you're not getting quite the benefit. So, okay, let's see what I can do, if I can still do this. And if not, I'm going to delete the video so you can't know it anyway. Oh yeah, I'm going to go up. I'm going to see how high I can get. So this is, I think, 440. I have 445s on each side. The bar itself is about 81 pounds. My goal is just to at least do it once, but I'd like to do it twice. That's the optimal for me. I haven't done this in like 8 months or more. Again, what I've been focusing on over the last like year or two really has been more higher reps. So I'm very curious if I can still do this stuff or do any of it. 440 is not bad. I think that's respectable, even with the hex bar. So we'll see what I can do. This is, channeling my inner Bhima. Because Bhima could do this with one hand. I mean, his club probably wears 440. Come on. And B. Never try a heavy weight without warming up, ever. All right, so don't try this. Because if I fail, it's okay. I should be fine. I've failed many times doing heavy weights. Okay, not bad. I did it. I felt like I could have done another one, but I'm gonna stop there. Yeah, I noticed there was a bee in the background of that video. Just fly right there as I was doing that. That's awesome. He was supporting me. The bee was supporting my efforts. Okay, so today, I did that. Normally, I would not really put deadlifts, and squats, because those are two, I think, of the heaviest, most difficult exercises to do. But the deadlift I actually stopped doing after the 440. Normally what I would do, especially if I was strength training, is I would do the 440 another time or two, and maybe even add a little bit more to really push myself. Try to get a little bit more weight. You're trying to get to, in strength training, I think you're trying to really get to that 80% of your one rep max and do it like 2 or 3 times. So I would probably do that, and then I would drop like 40-50%, probably 40% of the weight, so come down to like 300, and then bust out as many of those as I can. And then I would move to the next exercise. Usually it would not be squat. So I'm not doing that because today, again, I just wanted to kind of get a little bit of that, training of the posterior. The bee is following me around. Maybe I smell nice. Get that posterior training, get the deadlift, get that Bhima deadlift going. Now I'm gonna do squats. Now I love squats. I do them all the time still, but I have not gone super heavy anymore. So we'll see what I can do today. I'm not super interested in going really heavy with the squats today. So we'll see what I feel like. But I wanna show you a little bit of my exercise for the day. And then I'm gonna have a couple more leg exercises. I don't know how many I would be able to show you. So one of the limitations of my gym at home, this is my home gym, is there's not any, as you can see, there's no real machines. And I would definitely be using leg squat, or the leg press, the hack squat, what's it called? I always forget what it's called. The seated leg curls, and there's all these different kinds of machines. Those are all awesome. Like for the legs in particular, the legs, I said this in my day 2 video, man, they are the most complex, the biggest muscles, and it's huge. And you need to hit them a lot if you really want them to grow, and you don't want to have chicken legs. My chicken is almost gone now. So you gotta work that out. Okay, also there's something in our story, the Mahabharata tales, that I still haven't figured out. About thighs. Like one character gets mad at, he intimidates the Pandaval brothers, which is, I'm one of them, there's Arjuna, there's Nakula, there's 5 Pandaval brothers. They're, I think, the core of the story. Bhima's one of them, and one character, when he's like trying to take, some girl from us, I won't get into details, it's like, you need my thigh. I'm like, what? I really want to understand what this is all about. Somebody kind of explained it, but I need it really thoroughly explained to me, the thigh thing. There's a whole backstory about thighs, I guess. Okay. So I'm warming up with these big weights, big exercises. I always warm up. Squats, I always warm up. I mean, squats is one of those exercises you could definitely get hurt. So there's no need for that. You should never get hurt in the gym. Okay, so I get onto the weight. I can't show you my feet. My feet are basically shoulder width apart. I put a little bend in them. I like to, so this is a really important exercise for hips. So, I have my hip kind of forward, and then I'm gonna pop out. So bend my lower back, basically stick my butt out, and then come down. And that's it. And then come back up in the same kind of motion. There's a lot of videos on how to do this, way better than this video. I'm just showing you my overall workout. Gotta watch out for that. Okay, we're gonna move on to 135. Again, see how heavy you get. Probably not that heavy today. Heavier than this, but. So I wanted to talk real quick about my motivations for doing these videos, for those of you who are interested. I have no interest in being a fitness influencer, fitness anything. This channel is Troubadour channel and focused on teaching modern minds. I'm trying to connect modern minds with the great literary experiences trapped in classic literature and art. I think a lot of it's trapped in academia, and people aren't really good at disseminating and helping people get a great experience of classic art. So that's what Troubadour is really all about. this was a fun thing because I got cast in this role for Bhima. What I'm showing you is, just a slightly adapted, version of various workouts that I do for fun at this point to keep in some kind of shape as I'm getting older. So, I probably won't be doing workout videos much in the future. I might do other videos at the gym, we'll see. But there's so many great workouts. I mean, I really recommend. I've been doing, like I said, I keep stressing this because I want you to understand. I've been doing this since like 2012, and I've done all kinds of regimes. I started off by reading and going through Arnold Schwarzenegger's Encyclopedia of Bodybuilding, which I do recommend. I've watched and learned from Mike Menser. I got into Hollywood workouts. I saw this movie with a friend when we were roommates back in California called X-Men Days of Future Past. And there was this moment when Hugh Jackman as Wolverine gets out of bed and he's naked, and man, his back was like sick. I was like, oh man, I want to try to get a back like that. So I looked up his workout, and I did that workout for like 3 years. And it was a fun workout. I definitely liked it a lot. I don't think I would do it like that anymore, but there's a lot of benefits to the way that he was doing that. So I've seen all these regimes. I recommend Renaissance periodization. I think they are head and shoulders above everyone. I don't care if it's celebrity. I don't care who it is. They're the best, most systematic, most context oriented. So understanding, and real. Like trying to get you a normal person. Like I don't have like a god physique like Chris Hemsworth. They want to get Renaissance periodization wants to get you in the gym healthier, better, and just maximizing your genetics. And I think that's what working out, whether it's running, playing sports, lifting weights, what all of that is really about is not trying to be like Chris Hemsworth or The Rock or something like that, but it's actually about maximizing your genetics, whatever genetics you have. I have certain genetics that are ideal for certain types of things and a little bit harder on different things, so I'm maximizing that. One thing in all these regimes, these workout regimes I've noticed, and that I've grown to despise some of these people, are the people who are like the Chris Hemsworths and the Rocks and these Instagram influencers, gym influencers, and the same with women fitness influencers, where they are clearly roided up. They're doing steroids. Chris Hemsworth is on a lot of steroids. He probably has a beautiful mix of chemical cocktails. There's no way he looks like that. There's too much evidence. There's like that guy, the Liver King. You could look up that whole fiasco. They're all lying. If they look like massive muscles, like The Rock, who's almost 50, compare him now to 20 years ago, and it's like, no, the guy is on steroids. But the problem isn't the steroid use, in my opinion. If you want to use steroids, I don't give a crap what you do. But I hate it when people are using that and selling their regimes with the idea that you could be like me. That's the implication. It's like, oh, you do, like Chris Hemsworth thing, I think was 15, I don't know if it still exists. It was like $15 a month or something. And, you get his workout plans and everything. And it's like, fine, I'm sure the workout plan was great. I don't know, I don't care. But, using the Thor chemically enhanced, this goes true to Captain America, although I don't think Chris Evans does. I think his is slightly more attainable, but he definitely did steroids. But I don't, there's a certain level of attainability that is just not possible without steroids. And if you're gonna sell a workout regime, you should be transparent that you're not natural. Because you need to let people know, hey, here's the workout, and then here's my chemical cocktail that actually got me to do that. Because steroids is not a magic pill. It's not like you take steroids and boom, you're this giant and this perfectly specimen, like in Captain America. Great movie, by the way. I love that movie. It's not like that. But you do have to work out hard. You do have to, eat right. But the gains and the muscle building are on another level. It's going to be a massive improvement and development beyond what's normally possible in humans. So that's my spiel about that. I really don't like that. So I think everyone should work out. I don't care who you are. I don't care if you're a 75-year-old grandmother living in your house, you should do a little bit of weightlifting. It'll help your bone density, your tendons, and it'll help you live long. I don't care who you are. Do it. Okay, here's some more. Now, one thing about squats that takes some time and practice, so you gotta get comfortable with this, is you need to go all the way down to the full stretch. You should really feel it in your glutes and your thighs. But your glutes should be feeling it. And so a lot of people go like halfway so they can go heavier weights. No, it's not relevant. You're not trying to impress people. You're trying to maximize your strength. Okay, or your body, your genetics. Okay, so I'm gonna move to 225. Now I'm gonna put clips on. I wanna show you me doing this because I'm gonna show you some safety things and some mentality about safety. So when I started working out, I did it all by myself. Nobody went with me. I didn't have a trainer. I just wanted to get my lardo butt off the couch, basically, type of mentality. This, again, was back in like 11, 12 or something. So I was really afraid of squats for a long time. So I did not do very many squats. I would do leg presses and other things, which are great. But I think squats are one of the best exercises ever for your whole core. It works out your legs and your hamstrings and your glutes, even your back a little bit, but it also works out your core. So you're activating your core when you're going down, you're pushing up, so you have much more muscle. So if you look at like professional strongmen, especially because they're doing massive squats and deadlift, you'll notice they have like this, massive, it looks like almost they're fat, but that's all, that's like really heavy muscle. It's not necessarily cut lean muscle, it's, big muscle. Now they also have fat over that. I'm not saying they don't have fat, I'm not saying I don't have fat, I clearly do. But there's a lot of muscle that's coming from squats and these other things. It's not like I'm doing very many crunches and stuff like that. Like crunches, I don't think I think there's benefits to them. I don't know, but Anyway, so I'm not trying to diss on any kind of workout. But you're working out your core, your abs. You're working out the whole thing when you're doing these kinds of big exercises because you have all this weight, and when you're lifting up, you're lifting, like if you do it, feel your stomach, like go down and then lift, and if you have any weight especially, you're gonna feel it there. So I put up these barriers here, which I recommend, so you can drop the weight if you get scared. And what I wanted to talk about was the fear factor of squats, which kept me away from squats for like 5 years. First half of me doing this or more or something. And again, it was fear of not knowing how to do it, fear of being in the gym and being embarrassed, fear of doing too little of weight. So when you're doing these big workouts and you're just starting off, I think for the first 6 months, a year, 2 years, you need to start really light and you need to just really slowly build up, very safely, very cautiously, because you're trying to build up all the muscles. It's not some, you just work out your thighs or you get big thighs all of a sudden. One of the things that started getting better for me that were actually my knees. I'm 39 years old right now. My knees at 39 are better than they were at 25, seriously. And a lot of that is because, you're building all the muscle around here and I'm doing it correctly. So people have complained to me about they can't do squats because of their knees. You gotta get your knees checked out and you probably have to do more squats. You have to do them safely, do them, again, slowly, but again, this is a fear thing because squats are gonna build up all the muscle around your knee to protect your knee as well as the tendons and everything. So, so my knees are better, also my hips. So you have to really pop your hip out to do a proper squat. You're not just going down, you're popping it out. Again, watch a real video that really breaks the whole mechanics down when you're gonna do this. I just wanted to give you some mentality of my workouts. You gotta not be afraid, start light, get slowly heavier. Don't worry about other people. I eventually got into it, and man, my hips are better, my knees are better, my back is better. As I get older, I'm getting better in so many things. So I think that's just such a valuable part of the process. Now, so I'm going to do 225. The safety things and the clips are, again, don't be afraid of doing, getting to a weight and then you're trying to push or whatever. Failing is fine. So this is on my back. I have these up. If I were to stumble a little bit, I would just drop it and step forward. And that's it. And then you're fine. And it's not a big deal. Now it might scrape your back a little bit. It's not, it's not the greatest, thing in the world, but it's, better than the alternative of really collapsing under it. And then if you do collapse, you have these protectors. Now I've never collapsed. I have fallen a couple times over the how many ever years I've been doing this. So, but that's okay. Okay. Because I have these safeties, not a big deal. Just drop it, step forward. Okay. Okay, I've realized I've done a lot more talking today. There's often more time in between sets when you're doing heavier weights. But okay, so I'm not doing that heavy. I'm doing 285 for squats. I'm going to probably only do 5, 6. We'll see what I can do. Last time I think I did 10 at 225. I think I'm only gonna go up one more weight. We'll see, or I might even just stay here. Because again, my goal is, I've already done a heavy deadlift. I don't think I need to do too much more heavy today. I think 285 feels good, but we'll see. We'll see how I feel. I might do one heavier if this feels good with a weight belt, so you can see what that looks like. That would be fun. That felt good. I'm gonna go up without the weight belt. Okay, got 315 today, or 315 for the squats. I don't know if I'll go higher, we'll see. I wanted to talk about why, general motivations of people going into the gym real quick. Because I think having the right motivations are really important to sticking with it. So, when I first did it, I said this I think in day 1 or 2 of my Bhima workout videos. When I first started getting into it, I was in my mid-20s, and I saw the Pumping Iron movie by Arnold Schwarzenegger. He was talking about the aesthetics of bodybuilding and how to, you're like a craftsman. You focus on one area to get the proportions right. I thought that was beautiful. I'm really into art. I love art. So I thought, okay, that's great. So I tried it for that, and then I was learned that it was definitely much more difficult than I thought to get to that level. Now, another underlying motivation that was definitely there a lot, and I think it's there for a lot of young men and young women as well, is getting the I'm just talking for myself, just heterosexual, finding somebody, going on a date, getting the ladies. And you might have heard this with gyms, gym culture with guys. My experience since then, and thousands upon thousands of times going to the gym. And some of these gyms I would go to regularly and see the same type of people. And my experience was it was very awkward and very rare that I would talk or have any positive interactions with a female. But God, the amount of guys, there's definitely some gay guys, and I would work out with some of them, and I could definitely tell they were interested in me, but I wasn't interested because I'm straight. But whether gay or straight or whatever, the amount of I don't know what the word is, admiration, adoration, accolades, people praising what I was doing, 99.999% men. I'd say 100% men. I don't know if a woman has ever complimented me in the gym. I have girlfriends who have complimented me or something for something about the gym, but that's about it. So if that's your motivation, I would say that's not a good motivation. Don't do it. All the evidence suggests that that's not a direct like I'm sure some guys have very different experiences, and that's great. Definitely not my experience, definitely not the experience of a lot of guys that I talked to. So, for whatever it's worth. I think the thing that kept me in the gym and that I did go to the gym for was, and this is what I tell everybody who wants to get started in lifting weights or anything with exercise, is fall in love with the gym. So there's all these kinds of regimes that you can get into, but you have to first enjoy the thing itself. Because if you're doing it for some external motivation, like you think you're gonna get lots of ladies and get in bed with them all the time, maybe that'll happen, but I highly doubt that the gym is the differentiating factor of making that occur. Maybe your confidence goes up, or you're more confident, you approach more women, and that's what really succeeds, and that's great. But the gym itself is probably not what is necessarily doing it. It's in and of itself, because you can get confidence from other areas. Maybe you're doing really well at work or something. So all I'm saying is the core thing, and I've done this for so many years, is falling in love with going to the gym. That's the number one thing. Fall in love with the weights, find some end goals for you and your own personal desires. Okay, here's 315. I don't think I can do 5 right now, but we'll see. I know it's like, negative self-talk, but I'm not trying to kill myself, just trying to get a workout. I'll probably show you the weight belt after this, just so you can see what a weight belt looks like. That's 4, I could have done more. So now this is a weight belt, right? They're not very expensive, but they're really essential. There's a couple pieces of equipment that are essential, I think, for helping you in strength training. The way I always think about using a weight belt is I only use it when I need it. So like when I'm really trying to get at my last set or two, because you want to build all of those muscles that this is helping you with. So the weight belt is not helping you with your lower back really. I mean, I think it doesn't hurt your lower back. It might help a little bit, but that's not the main function. Like I said, if you do a squat and you go down and then you come up, you'll feel this whole area tighten up. And that's, building muscle. When you have a lot of weight on it, you're, needing that a lot more. And this, the way it feels like to me is it gives you something to push off against it, and like it kind of strengthens your core so you can go up with more weight, so you can focus on the leg part of things, which is good. You do want to get that. So I do recommend this as you get heavier or at your heavier weights. I probably would not, if you weren't here, if the video weren't here, I probably would not use this for 315 right now. I'd probably do a couple more sets, try to get to the 5 reps. Maybe I would do another set above this for 2 reps or 3 at like 350 pounds, something like that, and try to do 2 reps like that, and then I would use this. But I'm not really interested in that, and I'm not trying to break any PRs or anything like that. Like I probably wouldn't even be doing 315 if the camera wasn't here today. I'm not that interested in that size. I have plenty of big thighs. I don't need to get bigger. So I'll do this, a couple reps just so you can see, with this. I recommend, if you're interested in getting into exercise, getting one of these. They really help. But again, the mistake, I think it's a mistake, and I'm open to being wrong, but I see guys in the gym who are just, they just have this on the whole time they're in the gym. And it's like, why? You're losing out on all the benefit. Like, the whole point is, again, not to impress other people or to put up the biggest weights possible unless you're a power lifter. The point is to build your body up to the best that it can be. So I think, using this only for the end so you can push your thighs, but you want actual real overall strength. That's what you're really trying to build, in my opinion. And that's what I'm trying to build. And if you're interested in Bhima workouts, that's probably what you're trying. felt one of them was weird, so I stopped. I should do more, but 4 is good. It's not impressive, but I'm gonna drop down and do some more reps. Okay, so I think this actually gonna have to be my last squat. Normally I would do several more sets, mostly because the marginal value for how long I've been doing this, like it's hard for me to get a real, improvement in any kind of way. The marginal value is like so tiny. I do feel a little bit, but it's just not like I did, 5 years ago at all. And I've been talking to the camera for you guys way too long. So if you've made it this long, you're awesome. So I think I'm gonna do this one more time because I have a couple other exercises I wanted to do. No, I lied. I'm gonna do one more after this because that felt too good. You'll notice maybe I'm gonna speed it up, but you notice like I went down and didn't even go all the way up. So I was really trying to maximize that stretch in the glute muscles. Okay, so this is my last set of the squats. So you're not saying this. Normally I would just take no more than if it was a heavy weight, I would try to take no more than a 2-3 minute break, maybe 5 if I'm really tired, like after a 440 or a heavy deadlift or something, I might take more. But the goal is usually to take 60-90 seconds for me in between in the more bodybuilding or the higher rep range. Now again, if you need to take a little bit more, take a little bit more. It's not about that. Now in between the sets, I haven't been taking that long, but I have been talking to the camera for way too long. So it's all. This is why having the right workout partner is really important, because I've had workout partners where all they want to do is talk. My favorite workout partner, Donovan, I won't say your last name, but awesome dude, one of my favorite people. This was in California, in Southern California, when I lived there. And we were roommates, and we would go pretty much every day. Right first thing in the morning, boom, get the workout in, go home and get to work with work. And for him, it was all business, baby, and I love that. I mean, we could still have a little bit of fun, but for the most part, it's like business in the gym and get out of it. Some people, like, nah. It's like, I'm trying to work, man, get out of here. That's what I'm doing now, though. Who's that? Okay. Felt pretty good. I could do a couple more of that, but I can't. All right, now I'm going to do, basically it's called Romanian deadlifts, Romanian straight leg lifts, whatever. The general movement, it says glutes, so it's back of the legs. And I try to get just a basic stance, maybe a little closer depending. I'll play around with it to get the right feel. It's again, form is helping you with feel. So look up, when you're gonna do an exercise, look up different videos and try to get, that are showing you the real mechanics, like really break down the mechanics. I'm not doing that with these videos. And then, implement them to the best of your ability. And then but the whole point of the right form is to help you get the right kind of time under pressure to hit the right muscles at the right moment in the right way. And that is really very more individualized than we sometimes think. But form is really important. It's about form, not how much work. So in general, this is just a workout where you're going like this. I try to keep my back a little straight, and then it's just all hips. And go down and lift. And usually a lot of times I'll just be up in this movement because this is where all the tension is in the glutes, which I think is mostly a glute exercise. Okay. So I'm using a little heavier than I usually use actually. These are 70s. So I noticed 6 reps in or so, my back was a little bent. You want to keep your back pretty straight. So you can't really see it. Again, look up videos that show you the mechanics. That's not what I'm doing with any of these videos. All right, one exercise I'm not showing you that I'm doing in between sets, I do them almost every day at this point, almost every workout, is calf raises. I showed it to you a little bit on day one, but again, I'll just repeat myself really briefly. I don't have weights, I don't have a great way to have weights and be balanced while I'm doing them. It's difficult with the steps that I have. So I just do them with my body weight, which is a lot of weight. And I just do them like every day. Ideally, I would do them like with a leg press or an actual calf raise machine, but I don't have any of those right now. So I just make do with what I got. And then I'll probably try to do one other exercise after this, but it's taken so long, I really need to move on and do other stuff for my day. So this is like, not my fully recommended workout, but we'll see how I felt. I did deadlift, did a whole bunch of squats, Romanian deadlift. We'll see. Maybe I'll do one or two more. But hopefully you're getting an idea of how I'm thinking about this. That's the purpose of these videos. Again, I'm probably not going to do very many workout videos again, probably. But my hope is for you to think how I'm thinking about it, which is how to get the right kind of motivations, have the right kinds of ends, and then using all the information that's on the internet. I mean, you could build a regime perfectly by yourself. You do not need a trainer. The only reason you should find a trainer is if for whatever reason you need that initial motivation to help you, and that's very important, and to kind of guide you through it. But really, it's got to come from an internal motivation standpoint. Otherwise, you're not going to stick with it, or very unlikely. Okay. Okay, I thought about it. What I think I'm going to do is, I have deadlifts, a lot of squats, these Romanian dumbbell deadlifts, calf raises. I think I'm going to try one more, maybe two, but only a few sets. There's one exercise I've only tried once, and it was really difficult. And so you might see me, failing a little bit, trying a new exercise, and maybe you'll find that funny or something, I don't know. But I learned it on Mike Israetel's channel. I even bought like a little piece of equipment to try with it. I can't fully figure out how to do it, so I don't even know what it's called. I can't remember what it's called, but I saw him do this when he was working out with somebody. So again, for the real, getting a regime, I recommend, like a workout regime, I'm using my own knowledge combined with ChatGPT that I tell all of what my equipment is, I give the goals, and I kind of work out something that I'm trying to accomplish. I think Renaissance periodization is 10 times better. You have to pay for it, but I think it's well worth it. So I would recommend doing that, ideally. Again, my purpose is to kind of show you my way of thinking and just have a little fun with this Bhima character and training to become like Bhima, which is a fictional character. So I can say whatever I want. But it is how I'm training for that particular role in the 2 weeks I have to train. Okay. For the record, no one is asking me to train for this. I'm doing it for fun. All right, so you're gonna see me screw up this exercise for those of you who made it this far. Yeah, I'm trying to even remember how this one goes. Again, I saw this on a video, but not even in the app, Renaissance periodization, or RPF. But it's something like you have a bar here for counterweight, a dumbbell, which I'll get in a bit. I think, do you go the same? No, I think it's the other one. So I think you go like this, but you have to come down, and then come up. So it's like that. But I can't get my foot. Oh my God, I'm not good at this. Okay, I'm gonna try again. This is hard, at least for me. Shows you my limitations for sure, which are very hefty limitations. Okay. I'm gonna try a couple sets at a very low weight. Okay, I tried a couple more times and it was so miserable of a failure. I'm gonna try it some other time again. I need to get better at it. So I have to get going because I have to get to work, do more work. So I tried it a couple times and I was so miserable. I'm not gonna show that to you. It was so bad. I'm gonna just move on. I recommend doing walking lunges or some kind of lunge as well, which I usually do at least once a week. The last couple weeks I've been going into my local gym to get used to, on top of squats and deadlift, to get used to, or get access to those pieces of equipment that they have, like the leg presses, the leg curls and things like that. Those are very helpful for legs. I would, do lunges. I would do a couple other exercises like that. Bulgarian split squats. I've run out of time. I've taken this is like, I think, taking me 2 hours. I gotta get back to work. There's a lot that I have to do. So, but this is what I tried to do. Hopefully you find that a little interesting. This is day 3. We'll be back at it probably tomorrow.